will follow ethical research as much as the student, all right, gonna follow ethical research practices. The supervisor must also follow same. For instance, so if you are in the lab and you conducting your environment or your experiment, the supervisor thinks that you have to follow ethical rules because here that is manipulation and falsification of data is something that supervisor will not want the student to do. And in the same manner, the supervisor must not also influence the student to manipulate, all right, or falsify data. Because we have seen some supervisors have been sacked because of what falsification of data in their labs. So just these are few expectations. So we have them as contrasting expectations. As a student, you must know how to deal with your supervisor, your expectations, and their expectation in response. Because yesterday I made mention that, and it was iterated by Sister Sophia, that makes mention that your supervisor is your greatest collaborator. And I make a very, a joke by saying that make the relationship to be anything that you could even mention, like to just say, this is my boyfriend, all right, or my girlfriend, just as you will be able to communicate often and often with that person, make your supervisor of such relationship. All right, respect the supervisor and always make sure that you have a good relationship whereby you could even go out to have a dinner, all right, to have a lunch with your supervisor. That should be the relationship that you have. And if you're gonna work in that tangent with your supervisor, trust me, you will go a great way. Sometimes, even if your mark is not up to the point, the supervisor will look at the relationship that he or she has with you and then make sure that you meet the mark. All right. Now, we're dealing with supervisors, so it means that here, as a student, you must make a time to meet with your supervisor. It depends on, the supervisor you're working with. Some are very busy. You wouldn't get them. But to be like a serious supervisor, call it a serious student, the supervisor, though I am, super busy, I am expecting my students to make it a point. Please, professor or supervisor, please, can I meet you in office in this particular day? I have one or two issues to discuss with you. Even if you do not, it's not having to do with your thesis, it could be a concept you are building up. So the more you engage with your supervisor, the supervisor will see that no, this particular student is another level, meaning that you take responsibility for your research. You take responsibility for what you're doing. But if you are a student, you never bothered, all right, to engage your supervisor, meaning that even that alone is breaking a relationship because the more you discuss issues, the more the bond get connected. All right. So it means that make a time to book an appointment with your supervisor. All right. No matter how busy it is, even if it's going to be on Zoom, you do it. Now, coming from China background, because some of us, the supervisors you are, dealing with, sorry to say, they may not be excellent in the English, all right, as many international students are English spoken, all right. So they may not be good with the English to communicate with you, but it is also relevant that you still make a time to meet with them no matter what. So even if you will have to speak your broken Chinese, but you try as much as possible to do it, all right, and it builds the relationship and also open up opportunities at the same time. Because the PhD or the master's program is not just an end, but it is a continuum. I think I will have to reiterate this. The PhD or master's program is not an end to itself. It is a continuum, just like business. We know business is an ongoing stuff. Even right now, where I have gotten to, but there are times I still have to rely on my PhD supervisor, either for a recommendation, because if you complete your master's or your PhD program thinking that, oh, I'm done, I've gotten my degree, there is a very bigger responsibility that will still be expected of your supervisor with regard to you. Recommendation letters. Those who are already professors here know this. A couple of it. So, assuming that you do not have a very good relationship with your supervisor and you are able to even navigate your master's or your PhD program, you cannot at any point in time avoid your supervisor, because some of the opportunities you are looking out for, they will even ask you who was your supervisor. You have to include the person's name and the email, meaning that they have to follow up in terms of employment. So your supervisor, take your supervisor, let me add it in another dimension, that take your supervisor as your parent. Just as you cannot avoid your parent, you cannot also avoid your supervisor. All right. Because at any point in time, you have to refer to your dad, your mom, or the guardian who might have taken you through. It is same with the academic environment. Your supervisor should be seen either as your mom or your dad. I remember one time when I completed my PhD, I went, just to my supervisor to tell him, yeah, I have completed right now. I'm coming just to say thank you for accepting me as your student to work with you over the years. And by that extension, I did mention to him that I'm sorry for anything that he might have observed me, done over my PhD program, which was not good. He should just forgive me. It's normal of a student professor relationship. I did. I went there specifically just to say thank you for accepting me and working with me. And after that, I went ahead to tell him, right now, please, can you advise me? Advise me as your son and not as a supervisor. Brothers and sisters, I mentioned this to him. So when I mentioned that to him, it's like he was shocked. How do you mean that advise me as your son and not a supervisor? Not because he could not use the supervisory ground to advise me, but when he's going to advise me as his personal son, it will be more than the supervisory ground. And trust me, having spoken like this with him, within 3 days' time, he has already even linked me to one university. The university should consider me for an associate professor position. By that, it happened, but already there was also another course was going on. I did not go to that particular university he recommended for me, but I got a different place. But that was to say that having gone to say thank you and apologize for any mishap that might have taken place, and I asked him, advise me as your son, that alone would have created a mark. Still have that relationship with the supervisor. So, like I say again, take your supervisor as one of your parents. And even beyond academia, you will always refer to that particular person. So I'm going to the next point. Now, as a student, you must take ownership of your research project. It is your personal business. Therefore, you have to do all that you have to do. Invest of time. Sometimes, even if it has to take you, because some of us, you have to even, when it comes to data or certain things, meaning that you have to use your own personal resources in order to get what you want to do. If you mean that even if it has to take you to invest a small amount of renminbi or dollar or whatever currency you may call it, but you have to do it. Take ownership of your research project. All right. Because if you complete with that particular project and it becomes a product, it is going to be put in your name. All right. For example, those who are in um, website development. All right. If you are to develop a website, you do it with all the tact and techniques that you have. If you're able to develop it, you can use your own name for that particular, website. So take personal responsibility of your research project. Then this is a point I will expect us to do something very interesting here. So here we just as a assistant welfare department.
Video din for already na for that thing.
I was saying a video.
Yeah,
That's I'm a video picture
Mpacho
there. I
Mbetima,
see.
hello.
I
Please,
saying
can you mute your mic?
No, but when they post video, some people they feel comment for the
Hello.
that's what I mean.
Please, there is noise from the background. Please, if you could. All right. Thank you. So we want to do something very interesting here. Thesis or dissertation is widely recognized as a long-term intellectual demanding project. Based on this, and when I say OAD, so here I am speaking on behalf of OAD here. So what we're going to do here is that we want to have a report on this. What are the areas that people are having challenges? So based on this question, please I'm gonna just pause for about 2 minutes. You can change your name before you make the response. So if you don't want your name to come with the response, all right, you could just change your name and make it. So based on your experience or thinking, can you give one or two reasons why we struggle to complete thesis, dissertation smoothly and on time? All right, so we will be, for OAD to continually having engagement with the people, it means that we must know the challenges our people are going through. All right, so, and you cannot have a solution without having the problem well established. We know that in research. So if you don't have a problem, there is no research also. So we want to know the problem our members are going through. Based on the problem that they're going through or we're going through, we can, in that respect, look for the right people, all right? Connect students to them so that they can be of help in the near future, all right? So please take your time within 2 minutes. I'm expecting to see responses in this. So we will collate all these responses. We will summarize them and see the main areas to put our acts together on as OAD. All right. So please, I expect to get responses over 40 responses, no matter how busy you are, but please just make a minute or two to respond to this. I know many of us, you may just all want to go through. You are not looking for your master's. You are neither looking for your PhD. You could be an industrial worker, but your response could make an impact in this, regards. Right, I'm still checking to see. So we have a minute to skip here. Please make a point. It's like I'm appealing now. Please make a point to make a response to this. Based on your experience or thinking, can you give one or two reasons why we struggle to complete thesis dissertation smoothly and on time? All right. So, yes, I see a hand raised. Okay, so while I'm going to respond to this um, person, I'm still expecting the responses. Please, just it's not just like another survey, all right? But we are doing it as OAD to use it as a starting point or a foundation to help our members, all right? So if, for instance, we see that it is student challenge or a supervisor, so we will know how to handle the issue going forward. Yeah, please, I'm seeing a hand raised here. Please, you can unmute your mic and you have a minute maximum to talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can I be heard?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So, I'm a PhD student in my third year. I happen to be dealing with two supervisors, my big boss and then the small boss. So the big boss actually is very busy, and then all his students are under junior supervisors, which you know since you have been in China. So here's the case that the junior one is really not consistent. Today you say this, tomorrow you change his mind, so on and so forth. Secondly, whatever data you would go with, he sees something wrong with it. Meanwhile,
All
the
right.
Chinese,
Uh,
yeah, he
Yes.
sees something
So,
wrong with it. So it's like you don't move.
yes, I see
Meanwhile, the Chinese people go with
this your
data,
question.
and then that one
Hello?
is okay with him. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a very special question or issue we're going to deal with. So you are going to be the first person we're going to address after this presentation. Is that okay? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So I was telling my brother that we're going to have a section for his issue. I have gone through a similar case, and not because I've gone through it, but we're going to see how we're going to handle it at this point. So you are going to be the first person we're going to have a session to discuss it with. This is just going to
All
be
right.
an in-house. It's an in-house issue we are dealing with. We're not going to, though it's going to be maybe this presentation could be on YouTube, but we're going to handle it, as we are saying, the people integrity are put on the line. Your integrity and other people integrity are put on the line. So we will have to know how to handle it in a very special way. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So yes, we still, I will still be happy if I can get more responses on this, because this is what is we are going to use in the future to help OAD members to know what kind of resource personnel they are going to look out for to help them, whether it's going to be Stata or this is part of it. All right. Okay. So while I keep making the presentation, I'm still expecting responses based on this question. Thank you. Now, why students stay longer than planned? All right. So these are just a snapshot of said. We say theses are delayed, not often about intelligence. Thesis delays are not often about intelligence. Yes, so like you said, you can be excellent in your classwork. You can be a first class student, right? But when it comes to thesis or dissertation, it's another thing altogether. So the question is about what? If it's not about intelligence, it's about what? All right. So we'll keep going. We have what? Lack of consultation from relevant departments. These are some of the reasons. A structural weakness. So when you say structural weakness here, we are looking at what? The structural is from student, supervisor, and the university or the institution as a whole. So anywhere that there are such structures being weak, you are tempted to have, issues. So we have another issue here. Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can
please can
hear
I?
you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so we have what? Inadequate data. So as my brother was saying, this is one of the issues that we normal face, inadequate data. All right. Results from the labs. It could be a primary or secondary data. So these are some of the reasons why people stay longer than they are expected. For example, yesterday I made mention about such a case because I personally has to help somebody, assisted the person. It was about data. The person do not have the data is on Africa, and I know Africa is one of the places we do have challenges with regard to data. So what I did was that this may be like a reiteration, but people who were not here yesterday is going to be another. So I had to connect the person to another university where data streaming is in China. All right. We have data streaming centers in China, some of the Chinese universities. So if you are having a data issue, so you should know how to, even if you cannot stream data, but somebody who is a data scientist within that particular university should be able to help you stream data. And having streamed the data, this data is what? Authentic, right? You have codified and all the time you got there, all these things can be reported in your research. So we see data is one issue. All right. Some of our people are facing with. These are not based on, all right, survey as we ask, but it's on observation. Then we also have lack of research clarity. Yeah, sorry here. So, because I've also been in that particular space before. We have what, for example, from supervisor, school guidelines. So here, sometimes the student is stuck. I have encountered a number of students in China when it comes to that. Not necessarily they were in my school, but different schools. You ask them, what is your research state now? They are not able to tell you, all right. They said, oh, the international saying this come and paste it without necessarily cross-checking. All right. So all these are the things we talk of what you must have a well-executed strategy for your thesis or dissertation project. All right. We also have psychological barriers. This is very, I may not be the best person to talk about it, but everyone that is in research, psychological barriers are set in. That's very important. And it means that as a student, you must, you know, psych yourself, psyching yourself here to know that this particular project or program that I am on, I'm going to finish it. No matter what it's going to take, I will have to learn very hard in order to finish it. Make yourself psychological fit for the program. But if you say, oh, this particular program, I don't even know how I'm going to end it. You don't start speaking ill of the project. So you have to find ways, all right, to psych yourself. The more you say, I cannot do it, the worse you become of not doing it. The more you say you cannot do it, the worse you become of not doing it. So it means, therefore, means that psychological issue is not a matter of health, not, entirely. All right. It could be health related, psychological, but we also have it as what? A social, cognitive reason, which we have to deal with. All right. And are most delays preventable? This is an unsorted responses for. Some delays are preventable, but they are also subject to different conditions. Yesterday, we looked at some conditions that they are. All right. Some delays could be because of your relationship with the supervisor, because of lack of clarity, because of financial issues. Some of us, we are not having a full scholarship. All right. That alone could bring about what? A delay in your project, meaning that you are your own who is looking for financial support and also working on your research. So it means that you are being in the rain and at the sun at the same time. Okay. So I want us to move to other issues, right? Common thesis and dissertation challenges. So we have what? Poorly defined. Now, this is now we're going into the research work itself. We have what? Poorly defined research problem. Okay, so these are common issues. We have endless literature review. So for you, let me move back to the first point, your poorly defined research problem. We all as authors, even researchers, or maybe at that level, but sometimes you will even send your paper to either a journal, you'll be told that your research problem was inadequately addressed. So it means that starting a research is not the starting of it because you have already even started the research before. Identification of the problem is where the interest is. So if you are not able to identify the problem very well, you cannot address it no matter what you're doing unless somebody else help you. So for instance, let me take it that I want to look at my field is in energy. And I want to look at maybe energy transition is a problem. What is that particular problem? So I first of all have to dissect the problem. So, and then the context of which you are seeing the problem. Because I can see a problem in Africa. That particular problem will not be a problem in America or in China. So it means that the research problem you are having, it must be in perspective and context. All right. So we have endless literature review. So literature review usually is seen as one of the easiest, but if you don't learn it how to do literature review, you will keep doing it over and over. So we have type of literature review, whether it's narrative, all right, we have systematic, depending on the type of literature review you want to do it, you have to start something else. And the literature review sometimes helps you to even get your problem very well. And the literature review brings you to the research gap. All right. You have a problem. You come to do literature review. It exposes, all right, or amplifies the research gap. So it means that you have a problem and there is also a gap. So you are addressing the problem together with the gap. That is where every researcher contribution comes in. So if a reviewer takes your paper or an external examiner is looking at your research, they are looking at your problem, your gap. Consequently, having found your problem and your research gap, what methodological, frame are you going to use it? So here, the problem or the challenge is what? Methodological confusion. All right. We have methodological confusion. So if, for example, you have a quantitative data or quantitative problem, and you are now using a thematic, you are now using thematic methodology. Whoever that will look at it will tell you that there is a methodological confusion there. You are having a quantitative research problem. Now you are going to use a thematic, all right? So here, even if you will still go forward, there will have to be what is called coding. Even the thematic areas can be coded, but that one determines the researcher skills. So you can make it thematic areas and consequently code it. Then once you code it, you now have to convert it into a quantitative research, which will go. Otherwise, if you don't do coding and then you now go ahead with just descriptive alone, is going to make your research very problematic. So we did talk about data challenges. So we also have to just talk of what some of the common thesis dissertation challenges we have is what? Perfectionism. All right. So I will talk about masters and PhD. So in masters, you are only coming to do an up. It's just like you are following up the issues. Here, you are not expected to, theorize, to expose, or to hypothesize of your own. So here you are only just as a master student, you are only trying to, use the techniques to go through it and just understand. It's for understanding. But for PhD, it is expected of you of what? That is knowledge. You are now going to establish knowledge. All right. Thesis or dissertation for PhD. It is what? Establishing a new ground, which is testable. All right. Then we also have what? Weak supervisors alignment is also one of the challenges that most students do have. We have poor planning. So like I said, this is linked up with what? The issue of not able to structure your or misalignment of, issues from the beginning. So here we also have unwillingness to follow instructions. I will take about a minute to talk about this thing. It's very important. Yesterday, there was a question which is having to do, brother Ibrahim, I still remember the name very well. So when you come in as a master student or a PhD candidate, you already have your own research in place. You are coming to, to investigate. But mind you, the lab is not yours. You are coming to do what the supervisor wants you to do first. So your own research is just like a subsidiary. It is something that is very small. If in terms of figures, we say it is an infinitesimal aspect of your research. What it therefore means is that you are using your own time to do your research. But whatever that the supervisor is telling you to do, many a time, so imagine you are coming from physics background, and the program or the supervisor who is supervising you now is the person is just an economist. All right. So you can see that there is, a disconnect here a bit. For example, who is a physician, all right, and somebody who is also an economist. So by you who has the physics, all right, the physics background you are coming with, you have to learn what the economist is trying to do. It may be unfortunate. Sometimes I know, and then we have encounter with students because somebody was, maybe supervisor A was with you, and maybe because of health or termination of contract or other issues comes in. Now your main supervisor goes, and now you are left in the link. So who whoever that comes in as a supervisor, you are willing to go under the person. So now I'm talking it based on what? Unwillingness to follow instructions. So here you will have to follow the instruction no matter how it may look, but you have to just follow the supervisor's instruction and also still trusting that even sometimes you will follow a supervisor's instruction and later on discard your own research project that you wanted to do. All right. So one thing I will just leave in this section is that as PhD, master's or undergrad, there is one thing that the secret and the technique is what? Willingness to follow instructions. It is a very simple thing, but if you are to rate it in the mind of supervisors, it will take about 60%. The question is that, is this student willing to follow instructions? Sometimes you have to, let me use the word, you have to swallow your pride. Swallow your pride and follow the instructions. After following the instruction, you want to get your certificate. After you get it, you are gone. You will get job and going. Let's begin to swallow our own pride. You can be a manager, but once you become a student under a supervisor, no matter the age differences, you must be willing to obey those instructions. So I will have to move to the next. I think we are almost done anyway. Now, we have an issue right now in China. Academic thesis a trap? The question is that, is academic thesis a trap? All right, so you can look at the student, the one whose hand is jack at the neck or the cheek. Now he wanted to have a PhD by way of thesis. Now you see the psychological issue that I talk about. Psychological issues are already setting in. And we also have the student on my right. You have that one. You see that these are two different kind of students. This is that is what a technical aspect, and this is also theoretical aspect. But now we are now put in a trap. So in China right now, it is ongoing. That maybe China is trying to make, if you are able to make a practical product, you are able to become or just get your PhD. So it therefore means that if you have never been in technology related or technical field, even if this particular policy is implemented in China, still there will be the same problem. And this also brings us to a question: PhD. So somebody is doing this, you say for PhD. So you know that PhD is what? It is talking of what? Philosophy. All right. A philosopher and that of what? Called a technician. They are almost not the same. So the rationale for PhD, it means that it's going to now be broken. So if you say somebody who is able to now, make a product, we give you a PhD. It defies the orders of the rationale for PhD that was already before. And this is something that I just want to add here. Now, the next generation of researchers will be AI professionals and not philosophers. I don't know, somebody can take this one and just check it over. The next generation of researchers will be AI professionals and not philosophers. So just using the Chinese context, all right? So here, what it therefore means is that when you look at publications now, people are able to use AI to write research, all right, or to produce research. Now, the person is not just a technical or just like a philosopher, but it is the AI that has given the person the ability to write that particular work. The person it was not philosophically surrounded with thought. So now we have given our philosophy to the AI, and which will also have a consequential effect in our life going forward. All right, maybe unless policymakers and government have a look at that, just look at people who are AI professionals. Look at the publication trend. You will see most of them are just from the AI or computer science related background compared to the social sciences, if you may want it to call it that way. All right. So these are trends. So we will have to move a little bit here. So what are the causes or mislink? All right. We have what? So I will move swiftly. We have what? Research question shift. So now I'm moving back to some of the issues like the root cause of delay or the missing link in thesis or dissertation. We have research question shift, method become unstable, writing becomes unfocused, right? We also have contribution becomes weak, clarity determines speed of completion. So here we are still looking at the root cause. I'm linking it to this particular aspect. All right. This one was an issue I brought in in order for us to see the understanding right now, but it is not the main issue. So this one is connected with this aspect. Okay. Yeah. Then we want to just look a little bit on AI solutions. AI is, I talk about it like the next future of researchers are going to be AI professionals. But that is not an end there. So we have what is called AI can be used. AI should be used as a tool and not as an author or writer. So, but we are seeing a different way. I have personally rejected a couple of papers that comes to me for review. You can detect which write-up is an AI and which one is not, even using philosophical thought without even passing it through any other, tool. All right. So we just want to talk about something very brief here. We have narrow, broad topics. So AI is a solution which can narrow your broader topic, but it depends on the code you give to the AI. So sometimes even you can draft your introduction. It will not be well connected. So if for you to use AI in order to get that clarity, what it therefore means is that you have to give right code to the AI. First of all, you have to state this introduction connected starting with the problem, with the research gap, with the research objective, with the research contribution, whether you want to include hypothesis. If you include questions, automatically maybe you can let go of the hypothesis. And now these are the things you have to instruct the AI to code. Once you code it in this way, it's able to give you a very solid, write-up. Sometimes, so AI should just be used as a reviewer to help you bring your tools together. So based on this topic, you are saying that my problem is this, all right, in the context of, say, China. Now, the research gap. So if you don't find the research gap well, the AI itself will look for any research gap which is not connected to you. So you must find the research gap well. Once you are instructing AI, the problem, the research gap, the contributions, all right. If I am any reviewer is looking at your introduction, is looking at about 5 things: the problem, all right, the research gap, the objectives. We can also call it the contributions. All right. These are things that must be seen in your introduction. So if they are not there, gives a problem for a reviewer to reject your paper. All right. So we also have AI can help you map the gaps. All right. So we also have what structure gap logic. So every reviewer is looking for key things. If there is no logic in your write-up, or if the supervisor is reading it, do not find this logic, the external examiner is looking at your research without finding logic, you will have problem. So draft sharp problem statement. So AI can help us do all these things, but we ourselves, your ability to use AI is the starting point. That was why I made mention that the future AI professionals will be the, philosophers, or call them researchers. Okay. And they will be publishing more than those who use their philosophical mind and thought. So the AI is able to help you foster conceptual clarity. All right. So we move in here to AI can also be used for to structure your method. So it means that AI can help or suggest appropriate designs. So this is the research I'm doing. What is the appropriate design? So you have to get it before you start with your thesis. So in your research justification, you must justify it, and AI can help you justify that. Propose robustness test. What robustness test can be done based on this research you are conducting? All right. Simplify the technical explanation. Because you may see if a researcher just get your results and you dump it in AI to do it for you, it will give you general analysis. It will not speak to the context. But when you even use AI, we must, all of us like me, or whoever that I encounter with, AI is a tool. We must use it wisely. Otherwise, sometimes it will even exemplify or magnify our ignorance in research. Okay. So here AI is also strong methodology, give all those things. AI can do it, but the thing is that do you know how to code or give the right instruction for AI to do it is also another thing to handle. Okay, so we have AI can also be used for the data coding aspect or support. So AI, you can use the AI for cleaning plans, all right? Your data cleaning. You can generate R. You can use R to generate data, all right? But now, hey, just a minute here. Let's go out. Leave it here. Thank you. All right. Sorry, that was my son just picking something here. Yeah, so we have what you can use this AI for what? With regard to R, Python, and Stata script. So it can help you clean data, generate data, and all these things. Diagnostic suggestion it can give you, help data set, and speed up execution. But here is one thing. Many researchers, I will just mention it again. I rejected about 2 papers based on what? Using AI to falsify or generate data. All right. The AI, so people now, they generate data that we call synthetic data. You use AI to generate it, you will be, if you are found, it will go against you. If, for example, for your thesis, it can affect your certificate. All right. So you don't try to use AI to falsify data. It's not a good start. Okay. There is synthetic data that AI can generate, but you don't use it for anything. It's only to give you an idea. So here we will, we have different universities and different timeline within China. So, but here is just why we have what the submission of your thesis, blind external review, defense committee is set. Then thesis defense, after thesis defense, we have the post-defense, final submission, degree approval. These are the procedural, layout within China. And many of us so I will just quickly move to the next step. So people who are going through thesis and dissertation now, most of our questions will be directed or will be receiving from them so that we will help and assist them go out with their thesis and dissertation. So I will just move to the next here with the next step. So we have what questions and directions. Yeah. Is your research question clearly defined? What is the theoretical framework guiding my study? These are all questions you must answer as, a thesis, your PhD or master's, candidate. All this. How robust is my methodology? Have I analyzed the existing literature thoroughly? Am I prepared to defend my findings? So here, I'll just speak briefly here. Am I prepared to defend my findings? Here, a researcher, you cannot defend, your findings. Your findings can only be defended by the methodology you use. And that is why when you use one method, you have to go the extra mile. For example, a research I'm conducting, I use, say, Topsis is a method that you use. All right. So you have to use another, all right, a similar method. For example, I have to use what is called that is composite justice index to justify or to run the same data again and see, do I find similar results? So if it is similar results, then that therefore means that as a student, before your supervisor, before the defense panel, you are able to defend it. Why? You are not defending it with think. So you don't use the word I think, or people say, no, in research, these are fallacious statements. All right. So you must say that based on the main methodology I use and the robustness test, I'm able to find the same results. So these results, I therefore think that based on the outcome and relative to literature, it is defensible. All right. So what are the limitations of my study? So these are general questions asked. So I'm going to open the platform. First of all, we will have to deal with the first person who asked the question. So we're going to deal with you. And after that, we are going to look at master students, PhD who are doing their dissertation or thesis. What are the challenges you are going? All right. So if we can help, we are able to give direction in this regard. Thank you. So I've opened the platform and my brother who was able to ask the question in the presentation, please re-establish the question and then we will give responses to that and the best way to handle it. Yeah, before any other questions comes. Thank you. Yeah, so my brother who asked the question in the mid of the presentation, please, I would like you, I heard the question and I know where you were heading towards. For the sake of audience and maybe who may also want to, people may watch this in the YouTube or any other place. So please restate your question as you are submitting it. Do not mention a name and the university, you don't mention the university. So I'm trying to code your question. All right. You don't mention the university and whoever that is involved, you don't mention the person's name so that whatever that we are going to do is going to be codified. All right. Please go ahead and ask the question again.
All right, thank you very much. Can I be heard?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my question is, a student who happens to get the two supervisors, the main supervisor and then the junior supervisor that actually he's the person you are working with. So, in this case, you cannot straight away even go to the main supervisor. You would have to channel before you go, you have to be in terms with the small supervisor before you go. But here the case that maybe the small supervisor is not straightforward. It's like he has so many plans, so many ideas. And it's a concern because you as an international student, you have a time frame that definitely your time will come. You may need to exit. So in this case, what do you do? Because I'm asking because a question was said of that that relationship with the supervisor. So in this case, the main supervisor is there, but actually he is not the one supervising you. And the person you are working with too is like things are delaying due to these inconsistencies. And today you spend hours, weeks to do something, you would always have problem with it. And so it's like you are at one place, you don't move. And then it limits your going to the big boss because the big boss, you can't just go like that. You have to go with data. And even going, you don't want to seem like you bypass, like kind of sabotage and other stuff. So
Right.
all things being equal, what do you do?
Yeah. Thank you, my good brother. And I think, yes, I have gone through this, your experience. So these are some of the reasons why it's just because, like I said, it's my privilege just to make such a presentation, not just because I'm just coming to present, but I do not also have all the issues. I have gone exactly this situation you just presented, and I've just iterated very sharp and now respond to your question. So in this case, I was also having the same, then the junior supervisor and the main supervisor. So what happened was that even something happened very hard, which could have even affected me. And the main supervisor asked I should submit a paper to a journal, which I did. I submitted the paper, and now the main supervisor asked the junior supervisor to now go through the paper, all right, that I've already submitted to the journal. It was just left with click and approve. He did not do it and asked the junior to do that. So the junior went through the work and said in his comment, the data was just limited to some extent. The data was limited. So he doesn't know the paper was already submitted awaiting approval. So he gave his comment on that. So the supervisor had to, you know, refuse approving the submission. So by then he had not become a main or a major supervisor under me. It was just his own stuff he did. So I was very peeved. Having done this, so I can just say that he was the cause. The junior supervisor was the cause of this. So I should have been very much mad with him. But I have to understand that this is it. Even if I become angry with him, it may not even go well with me. So later on, that he became even the junior supervisor. So assuming that I had something difficult with him, now he brought me to his table now. I would have been in a bad taste of him. I can't go forward. Neither can I even go to the main supervisor. So I can just say it was just the grace of God that gave me patience and understanding to go through such. It was a bad experience. And as you mentioned this, personally, what I'm going to just tell you is that I'm not going to, because when you are being advised, you are subject to the consequences of the advice. So it means that you have to deal carefully with that particular issue. Like I just said, first of all, I'm trusting that you will have wisdom. All right. Wisdom is needed here. So you are taking note here. Wisdom, when I say wisdom, handling things in very matured way. All right. You don't use your emotions to handle this. So first of all, you have to make sure that you are in good books with the junior supervisor. That is the first point. Because even if you bypass the junior supervisor and goes to, I want to make a statement here. That is why even in certain books, they said you cannot serve two masters at the same time and still, you can serve two masters at the same time. All right. So what it therefore means is that it is difficult to be serving two masters at the same time. You will have to be right with one and be at worst with another. So here that you have to make a point where to make this junior supervisor your first person, all right, to be happy with you. I don't know if it's about the data, whatever suggestion he has given to you, try as much as possible you can, okay, to do it. And if he doesn't approve you, you cannot go to the main supervisor. So you are in a tight now. So you have to find every reason to first of all be right with the junior supervisor. There are certain things that he may tell you. If sometimes you say, oh, this one, it doesn't make academic sense. No, you don't jump into that. The only thing you have to do is that, how can we do it? Put it to the junior supervisor. Yeah, so these are my challenges, Prof. Please, can you help me as a supervisor not to do the work, but give me direct instructions that will help me. If it's about data, maybe your data is not good. Can he, put it to them? That's why I said that to supervise a student, you are not only to use the student, but it's also to help the student build up. But what I have observed recently is that many students are being left alone. All right. Many students are left alone to handle their own course. Some supervisors are not willing to help them, give them direct instruction. Like I mentioned, one student, I have to personally instruct the student where to go and get data. And after that, the person came and finished with her dissertation. She's now a doctoral, degree holder now. But the supervisor could not do that, not because he doesn't know, but because he was not concerned as at that time. So it therefore means is that you have to also look for somebody within the university or somebody who could help you. This is what my junior supervisor is saying. How can I do it? All right. Look for people who could help you. All right. Sometimes the supervisor are only looking for a finished product, but they don't want to be engaged in the process, which is unfortunate. All right. I'm coming from China and I see other places. Students should not only be in the process while the supervisor is just interested in the finished product. So we should be able to help the student also build up and come to that fore. So I just leave you a word, use wisdom. That's that one I'm speaking to you. That one is in code. Use wisdom, meaning that you don't do things with your emotion. Make sure that you ask a friend or somebody you think could be of help to meet the demands, and just respect that particular junior supervisor, no matter the person's age, no matter the person's qualification, but the person, you are put in the hand of that particular person. So your success is determined by those two. So I don't know if I have given you all right. So the platform is open for questions regarding theses and dissertations. And I know there are other professors here. All right. So this response that I've given, so I will want if another person could give, a perspective. All right, give a perspective because this particular situation, like I said, I wish you contact OAD, OAD president or myself. You contact me in the platform so that we will just see how we can help. It's not just like to do the work for you, but it's to give direction and to help you navigate this particular path. Is a technical issue. All right. You can't serve two masters at the same time like that. It's very hard. I'm seeing Sly hand is up. So, but I just wanted to give some few seconds if someone could respond to my brother in a different perspective. Yeah, because like I said, I've gone through this and I know how it is. Yeah, so one perspective to help him out is required. After that, Sly could go ahead. So if maybe there is no perspective, so what we're gonna do is that Sly could go ahead, and then I said that my brother he should just contact me through WeChat or OAD president. We are going to just, like I said, we are going to assist you, but not to do the work for you. We will be willing to help you. Right? Thank you. Sly, please go ahead with your question. Hello, Sly. Your
Yes,
hand is up. All right,
yes,
please go ahead.
yes. Sorry. My mic was muted. That's
Really
why.
sorry.
Yes, yes.
Do I
Thank.
know? Do I know this, Sly?
Yes.
Okay, please.
From Chendu.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And not too long, I actually logged in. Yeah, the link was sent to me by one of my senior, and logged in, and I saw you teaching. I was so amazed, and I was so happy about that. Yes. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So there's something actually I'm challenged about, and perhaps you people can step in to give a word of advice or see how I can navigate this situation. Yes, I submitted my topic really to my professor. He happens to be an associate professor, so he was okay with the topic, and it seems that the topic was okay, everything was fine. But when I sent the topic for review, like for the academic reviewers, like my school, the department of itself, then our director of the school, who happens to be the senior professor, is a full professor, was saying that the topic, there is an issue. I need to, but unfortunately, this professor is not in my field. She is in another field that is opposite, or let me say that is not directly related to what I'm doing. For instance, let's say my focus is on digital governance or digital transformation. Then this professor, her own field is into this econometric models, probably this econometric model. Let me just use an example like DID. And perhaps mine is focusing on the method that I want to use for my analysis of the model is on partially square structure equation modeling. And whilst she's on different pathway, and now she's advising that I should work on this part. And this is not my own research interest, or this is not the way I want to go. But she's senior than my professor, and all of these professors are under her are controlled. So I met my professor was like suggesting, and she was like, he was like, I don't have anything to say towards this. So
Yes, Sly,
yes,
I will not cut you short,
mm,
but once you have my contact on this, so we will look at this. But for the benefit of other, yeah, it was good that once, like I said, when you want to make such a decision, you hide the institutional name, the person's name. That is good. That in your questioning, that was good. So I will ask one question before I just respond a bit for the sake of everyone. What
okay.
did your main supervisor say after that?
He was like he just said he doesn't know what to do because he himself is scared about.
Okay, so it's just leave it there. So
Yes,
here there is tension. All
yes,
right. So the associate professor, remember, he is not going to sign, but the full supervisor is going to sign. So therefore, he is also trying to protect, or she is also trying to protect her integrity. And your main one will have, all right, your main one will have to succumb to the top. So here his job is also even, shaky. So whatever he do or whatever he does. So the question here is that he is trying to protect himself. Like I asked, what did your main supervisor say? So you see that there is a state of confusion. He doesn't know what to say. So
yes,
now, I think, as you said, you entered a little bit late. I mentioned something like this. So even though that is not, because somebody I use the aspect of what? Physics and that of what? Econometrics or economics as a sample that I was using. So in this case, as a good brother, having known you, not because of that, but I'm just to give you an advice, you will have to go an extra mile. You even if you don't know that particular technique, but you are being stuck, you are being stopped at the top. You will
yes,
have to come. You are not starting all over. It is what? Just the change of approach. Is that okay?
yes,
And
yes,
now, the first question when I will engage with you one on one is that the data that you have, can the data do what the top supervisor is asking you to do? All right. So, your data, because every method or methodology you use is determined by the data at hand. All right. You cannot have a qualitative data and you say you want to use a quantitative model. So, for you to even do this, it gives a higher sense of you have to code the qualitative data to convert it into quantitative data before you can do that. So I see where you're coming from, and I say like having seen that. So we will talk this off, and there will be a way out, right?
yes, yes.
So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so we are left with maybe I think I will have to buy time from uh, the Secretary General for just like 5 minutes. If there is any other questions, so maybe within 5 minutes, we could try to handle that before I hand over. I think we were scheduled for 1 hour, 30 minutes, but right now we are in the 31st minute. Um, Yeah, so like I did not read most of the responses because I asked for a data or a survey. So I used to have a fixed time with my supervisor during my PhD. It was every week. Okay, so I mentioned something like this, that it is very good platform for building rapport and creating it, even if it does not exist. All right, and respect must always be given to your professor, your supervisor, no matter what the person. You can be older than your supervisor, but you have to give them the due respect for the fact that you are under them. Did you meet your supervisor to discuss? Okay, all right. So I think maybe the platform is just open. There are a couple of issues I cannot respond to now through the But what will happen is that just unmute your mic within 5 minutes if you can address any critical question like the two areas that I meant. These two brothers, we will have to, give a support of advice and direction to help them navigate their way. All right, thank you. Hello. Yes, so the platform is open. We still wanting members to ask questions relating to thesis, dissertation. All right. Or if you are stuck, what are the challenges? So let's try to see the best way we can. Right. Remember, like we said, OAD is not here to monetize whatever that we do here is just to help our brothers have smiling faces. It was by the grace of other people that we have also come this far. So we want to use this platform also help others, all right, to give them just a direction, a sense of direction. Please, questions are welcome. Otherwise, the next 2 minutes, if there is no question, we will have to end the session and I hand over to the Secretary General for remarks and other stuff. Thank you. Yeah, so there was a question about review process of thesis. Okay, so I think I made that one was a very sharp presentation regarding to review process of thesis. Sometimes right now in China, you are even expected to make you will have to make a proposal. After the proposal, you submit to your supervisor, it goes through. You will have to even defend. You will defend this proposal. Some universities they do it in the second year. Others people do it in third year. All right. So I think that okay. Please display the PPT section 2. All right. Right now we have something to follow. Maybe those who want to follow is already projected. I don't know. So what I can do is that I think let me drop the PPT. Yeah, I'll drop the PPT. There is nothing to hide in it. I can give the PPT out. All right, so I'm dropping the PPT here. All right, so you can have a look at it. I think there was just only a mistake where like 2. Yeah, let me correct that before I just one thing before I post it there. Yeah, so please I'll hand over to
Please,
OED
we have
president.
someone.
Okay.
Daniel, he was trying to ask a question.
Yeah, Daniel, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. Yes, I can see that the presenter is well enriched and has wealth of experience in research. So my two questions are in line with the usage of AI in either accessing or writing journals. So the first question is this: do reviewers of journals test a manuscript to know if a paper is AI written? The second one is, are AI-like written papers accepted in a journal? Yes, I would like to know. Thank you very much.
Okay, yes. So you take the first one. We will do it after that, then we move to the next one. The first one is
do reviewers of journals test a manuscript to know if a paper is AI written? Do they
Okay.
test it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for this question. For me, I have been an editor for a special issue, and on that regard, because right now it's just like testing to using AI to test AI. So you see the point I'm coming from. So
Yes.
if they will test it, so it's another AI they are going to use to test your AI work, right? There is. And it is of a high level that they do. But the question is that do all journals do that? It depends on the editor. The editor can go an extra mile to do this. For me, and these are some of the things I say, we are using AI sometimes blindly, sometimes do not know because many people, whatever that AI generates, it is different from even what you type. That alone, that is why after you use AI, you have to do cleaning of the text because there is what we call watermarks. I'm not an AI expert, but I have experience in that. There are watermarks in AI write-ups. And if you do that and you just submit it, the watermarks alone will expose you. So just I know we are being chased by time, but we ourselves have to take time. Just don't let the AI, does everything for you. Take your time, read, make certain corrections in order to do it. Some journals will do. And that is why right now the system is messed. So I think this particular question, I wish I had a way we could even push these two questions to tomorrow, but I don't know your availability. All right. And we will, because of time, I will plead in your indulgence. And then please forgive me, not because I cannot answer it like I already started, but I look at the time. I know I may have questions to answer after this presentation. So please make a point tomorrow to join. Even if you cannot join, give your question to a friend to join and ask it for the benefit of our members. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
I'm very grateful, Brother Daniel.
All right, thank you. Thank
Uh,
you very much.
yes, there is one hand, and after this hand, I think I will have to hand over. Amanda
Yes,
Winnie, yeah.
thank thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. So yes, I'm working also on my proposal for my defense, PhD defense, and I'm having issues with literature review. So I wanted to ask, like, do you have anything, maybe that a document or something that you have, maybe that can give guidance on the different varieties of how you can go about with literature review? I'm getting like a lot of advices from a lot of people, and I'm confused. I now feel like I'm all over the place. So if you've maybe like a document that can tell us maybe what is systematic literature review, what is this type of literature review, what can you adopt, what can you this, I would be very grateful.
Right. Yeah. So like I already mentioned, we have different type of literature review. And it is also determined by the type of work you are doing. For example, to do a Prisma or systematic literature review, it means that your whole work is just literature review. Literature review itself is also an entire work. So what I do know as a student, I know in your case, you are not supposed to do systematic literature review. You are not also to do maybe the prisma. It is also within that perspective, or we have a meta data review. Both of these are not what as a student you will need to do. What you only need to do is what? We have narrative literature review and critical literature review. So either of them can also be used for your thesis. So first of all, your topic you are addressing, you can use narrative literature review. And that is it. So when somebody read your literature review section, it should even be phenomenal to know that you are a good researcher. So you can use analytical literature review, all right, or narrative. So either of this is what I know as a student you will have to use. And sometimes to the literature review section, if you are doing a monograph literature review is different from a, like, sometimes some thesis, you only complicate, or you only bring publications together as chapters. So if you are to do not a monograph, meaning that you will have to list all the literature that you have published in different papers and put it in one section. But I speculate that you are doing a monograph. And if it's a monograph, you either have to use a narrative or analytical literature review to help your work go. That is how it's going to be. Sometimes it depends on the topic, like I said. Sometimes you don't even need literature review. You need a conceptual framework. All right. A conceptual framework can take the space of literature review, even though you are going to mention literature, but it's a concept you are building. Therefore, you don't need a literature review section in your work. So I will just, based on what you said, I think I suggest you have to use analytical or narrative literature review. But this is just what I'm saying because I've not seen your work in order to give a conclusive advice on it. Thank you. Right. Mr. President, I'm very sorry we have gone into the time that was agreed, and it is because of the issues that are at heart. So please, I will hand over now. Yes, thank you so much for such an opportunity. And I'm so much grateful to every participant. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but it's because of our challenges we have in OAD are a platform to help each and every one of us. Your success is my success. All right. That is what we want to have. Do have a great night. And tomorrow will be the last section we will have to do. So you can call a friend to join next week. That will be tomorrow, so that we will have a very grateful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Emas. Please let's thank Dr. Emas for this wonderful, very insightful presentation. Let's thank him in the comments and the chat. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, scan the code to follow. This is our channel. This is already channel, so you can scan the code and follow us to support us to reach and support more people for free. So let's scan the code that you see on the screen. And if you are here with us and you are not part of OAAD, please let us know. We'll help you join the OAD's group. Let us know in the chat so that we add you to the group. Okay, thank you. Thank you once again, Dr. Emas. Thank to all of you for being there. And if you still have some question, you have to be there tomorrow. With what we got today, you know that tomorrow will be even better, will be even greater. So be there tomorrow. If you want to know more, if you have more questions, and you will be served. If you are an African PhD or master student, yeah, let us know in the chat so that we add you in OAD groups. Okay, so thank you for joining. Let's welcome Dr. Saka, Vice President of Eastern Africa, OAD, to give us the closing remarks. Dr. Saka, can you hear me? Dr. Saka? Please, can I be heard?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, so maybe let me.
Please, for those who want to join OAD, you can see in the chat where you see the OAD logo. This is just take this contact. Just reach out and then we'll be added to the group. We'll invite you. Okay, Dr. Saka. Okay, sorry.
Right. Let me stand in for Dr. Saka because I don't seem to see now. Or is he on?
He's here, yeah.
Okay, maybe he's struggling to unmute. Let me unmute him. Okay.
I've sent him a request, yeah.
Right, you should be able to unmute now, Dr. Saka, please check.
Yes, good evening,
Okay.
everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor, for the wonderful presentation. Thank you all OAD members, PhD students, master degree students, for taking your time to attend. We look forward to seeing you again in the subsequent conference. And I know and I hope that we are learning, we are amassing wisdom that's gonna help us all, let me say the students, in their next level of research and academia. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for standing with OAD and supporting OAD programs. Because when you attend such meetings, that is support, that is approval. Thank you once again, and good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Saka. Thank you all for joining. See you tomorrow. Make a point to be there and let us learn again. Let's grow and turn things around in your academics. Have a good evening or good afternoon. Good day, everyone. Bye-bye.